Good morning and welcome to the Dutching channel. Today we're going to do another tutorial video. This time it's about laying horses, which is totally different from doing horses to win because you're going to be doing them to lose. And again, we're going to be using the same race. This was the Cheltenham 410 back on the 14th with Harry Redknapp, Shake 'em Up Harry, that won at an industry SP of 8-1. So we're going to use the spreadsheet again for this race for purposes that it is a winner, but I just want to show you more than anything how we got to that winner. And as I said, we're going to use a race here with 21 runners, so it gives you a better insight to the race. Now, the way we start off to finding a lay bet here is we're going to do this exactly the same way as we did every day in my systems, where it shows you how many to bet in a race and the stakes of £50. We're going to do exactly the same for that at the moment, but forget the £50 stake of laying out because it's not going to work like that at all. But what we need to do, we need to pretend that we're just putting the prices in here, which was £17.34 at Betfair, and we needed a stake on this at £5.77 to return £100. We would have then done that for Shake 'em Up Harry. Then we would have done the same for Rian, Il Ridotto. So as we go down this here, we need to go down until we get to the bet just before we couldn't lay out any more for £50. So up to this horse here, which is our 12th selection in Killer Kane, all those horses above, we would have done to win. And that would have laid out £40.52. So we knew that we had £9.48 to put on that next selection, which was our 13th. All right, so we'll go down now, all the way down to there. And as you can see at the bottom here, the stake is £50. But the difference between putting that on to get 100 back is now that we're not going to bet any of these horses. And the reason for that is because we think that one of those horses is going to win. So if one of those is going to win, we're going to lose because we are now doing lay betting. The next ones that we're not going to bet on, if you watch the last video on value bets, we do value bets to win. So we'll start with the 14th selection here, which is Fighter Alain. My SP was 38.76. Now, if the Betfair SP is larger than my SP, then we call that a value bet. And in this case, it's 285.89. So I'm expecting that to be, say, 33-1. They've got it on there at, say, 250-1. So we go, yeah, that's a blinding bet for us. So we would have had 35 pence on this to return £100. But we would do it to win. So we take that off because we don't want a horse that can possibly win when we're doing horses to lose. And that might sound a bit backward, but if you understand lay betting, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Right, the next horse down was Straw Fan Jack. And again, we made this one 38.96, and Betfair told us 41.94. So again, their price is bigger than my price. So this would be a value bet to win. So we cancel it off because we don't want anything to do with what we would do for a win, only a lose. Number 16 there is Mars Harper, And Mars Harper again, 43.42 is my SP. And then Betfair go, don't worry about that, 158.75 with us. And you go, yeah, I'll take some of that to win. So again, get the win out of your head and take that off because it's got a possibility chance that it's a better price than what I make it. So I give that a good chance. We don't want it to have a good chance. We need losers. Then we'll go down to 17, which is Ciel de Neige. Ciel de Neige, 46.26 is my SP, and Betfair's is 296.05. So again, if you fancied this horse and you think should be 40 to 1 and they're giving you 250 to 1, you go, yeah, I'll have some of that. So again, that's one of our horses that we would do to win. So that's no good. Get rid of it. Going down to number 18, you've got Cribilli here. My SP said to me that should be 80.36. Betfair go, no, that's around 4 to 1, between 4 to 1 and 9 to 2. And you think, well, I think it'll be 80 to 1. So there's no value in that whatsoever. So we would say that's going to lose. Right? So we would then, I'll come to the stakes after this because the stakes aren't exactly the way you would do it to win. All right, so I'll come to the stakes after we've done the last three horses here. Number 19 is Saint Felicien. And these aren't the numbers of the horses that was in the race. These are just my ratings numbers where they would have finished. So I would have said this Saint Felicien would have finished 19th. Right, so Saint Felicien 101.5 would be my SP, so I would think that would be 100 to 1. And then Betfair go, no, it's 9 to 1 here, 10.61. And you go, well, there's no value there. So that we would do to lose. So just look at these columns, column A, B. This price in that column always needs to be less than the my SP column, column Z, to be a bet. But you must work out the win part first, because if you would have done it to win, it doesn't matter whether it would have been a less price, you're not going to bet on it to lose, because you would have already done it to win. I know this sounds a bit weird. Right, number 20 there is Arctic Brazil. Arctic Brazil, I make that 170 to 1, so 171.28. And then Betfair go, no, it's only 16 to 1 here. So I don't think there's any value in that. So I would think, I think that will lose. And our last selection, number 21, Hereditary Rule. We've got 244.19, and Betfair go, no, don't be silly, we'll give you bigger than that. So 406, so you'd go, yeah, I'll take that to win. So again, you said win, so you cancel that. So we've only got left with three horses. And these three horses will be our lay horses. So first, I just want to go back to the top here. Remember, we had 13 selections here that we were going to have to bet to win the race. So regardless of whether any of those prices, and there's an example, I'll just show you this one. In Excess Dio would have been 32.83 my price, but Betfair would go, no, it's only 22. So you would think, I would do that to lose because of the price, but you've already put it in your win part of the bet, which is the first thing you need to do. So you'd have done the first 13 to win, so you would have taken all those out, because if you said it will win, we want it to lose. All right, and I might have repeated this. And again, underneath the 13th horse, you can only do 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. But again, with the horses here, that are a bigger Betfair SP than what you've given it, then again, these would be win bets. So you need to put them in as losers. Right, now let's get back to the fun part. Selections 18, 19 and 20 in the ratings orders. We would have Kribili, Saint Felicien and Arctic Brazil. So first of all, you would go on the right hand side on Betfair and use the pink, not the blue to bet. You would use the pink side to lay. So if you got that 5.4, and the prices can be slightly different on the right hand side, but if you got 5.4, and we're using this for information only, so you can just work it out from this, it means here that you would put £18.52 to lose. All right, so you'd put it in that column on the right hand side, and this bet now, 18.52 would be your stake. Then you would have put money on Saint Felicien. Let's say you would have got that price on the right hand side of 10.61. You would put £9.43 on Saint Felicien to lose. All right, so your stake would be £9.43. Then Arctic Brazil was 17. Just like doing it to win, you would have £5.88 stake. All right, but I haven't said what you've returned yet. So these three here would be your main bets in this race. You can see at the bottom, you've added up there. This is your return. If one of those three do not win, do not win. I'm right the first time. Confusing myself now. You will return £33.83. That will go back to your bank. That's what you've won. You've basically offered people those prices and they've taken them. So if you was to win, then this is the figure at the bottom that you would return to your bank, £33.83. But if one of those three won, and let's say it was Kribili because it finished second and looked like it could have won at some point, instead of winning or returning £100, you're going to not lose £100, but you're going to give that person £100. Right, so that would work on all three of those. Right, but you would receive the 33.83, but on top of this, you're going to give them back 100. So effectively, you're going to lose the makeup of that to 100, which would be 67.17. Okay, so I don't know if that was sort of clear, but this is a system that I had tried out in the past and is very, very good. Right, it's very, very good to use. It wins a lot more than it loses. But the system that I do at the moment is easier for everybody to understand, because if you're used to betting to win, then there's no problem. But when you've got to put it in your mind, I think it's like if you write with your right hand and then I ask you to write with your left hand, your brain thinks differently. So in this case, it's exactly the same, because you've got to reverse it. You're doing horses that to lose, and then with the stakes that you lay out, that's what you win. You win what you staked, right? But then if one of those wins, you got to pay the customer or the punter instead of the other way around, instead of the bookmaker paying you. So it is a little bit difficult to take in, but if you want me to do another video on that and perhaps use a race that's in advance, it will be a little bit more difficult in advance, because as I always say, the liquidity is a lot different before, a couple of minutes before the race, or 5 or 10 minutes before the race. It's different to try and do it the night before, or even on the next lunchtime of the race. So even 2 or 3 hours ahead sometimes, it won't be great. You need to get this at least 5-10 minutes before the race runs. So if there's anybody who's got any comments for that, just send them through. If you want a free template here to try this yourself, then send an email. It's at the bottom of the screen. And we'll be back with another tutorial video at some point. Thanks for watching.